Good morning, Pastor Ron Jetter, Immanuel Lutheran Church, Grandview, Washington, on this, the 19th of No Shave November 2020. Actually, I did trim it, so I've achieved that. Looks like I shaved 3 days ago look that became popular in Hollywood. And I always wondered, how do they do that? How do you always look like you shaved 3 days ago? Well, you use the trimmer on the razor instead of just I use an electric, so I just use the coarse trimmer rather than the fine shaving blade. So, don't know if I like it or not, but it's November. I'll keep doing it for another couple of weeks. Can you believe it? A week from today, Thanksgiving. Wow, and we will have that unique meal, that uniquely North American festival harvest meal that has come to memorialize the start of the holiday season. It's been in movies. In fact, when we've had exchange students, one of the things they remark on is, "Wow, this is just like in the movies," as though we somehow created this image in Hollywood. And we have to explain to them, no, it's not a Hollywood creation. This is American history. This goes back to the 1600s. This goes back, 1620 was now 400 years ago. 1605, Jamestown, 1620, Plymouth, Massachusetts. We go back 400 years. We're a nation that's beginning to have some respectable history. By the time we're 500, maybe Europe will say, yeah, okay, they can be a real country now. They have that kind of old snobbishness because we're still the American experiment. Well, the experiment that produced Thanksgiving Day is going strong, and the Thanksgiving meal is an icon of that. It is set aside. And it says to us once a year, we are a people created to give thanks. Exodus chapter 19, God sets aside the people of Israel and says to them, you are a people consecrated to give thanks to God. Here are the words. On the third new moon after the Israelites had gone out from the land of Egypt, on that very day, they came into the wilderness of Sinai. They had journeyed from Rephidim, entered the wilderness of Sinai, and camped in the wilderness. Israel camped there in front of the mountain. Then Moses went up to God. The Lord called to him from the mountain, saying, thus you shall say to the house of Jacob, and tell the Israelites, you have seen what I did to the Egyptians, how I bore you up on eagle's wings and brought you to myself. The third new moon, the first new moon was the beginning of the month in which the Passover event happened. And it was on the 14th day of that month they celebrated, if celebration's the right word, the Passover meal. And now it's 2.5 months later, or 2.5 moon cycles later, the third new moon. So 75 days or so since they left Egypt, wandering across the Sinai Peninsula, back to the mountain where Moses first encountered Yahweh, the Lord God Almighty, ruler of the universe, creator of all things. And God reminds Moses, first of all, who he is and what he has done for Israel. We're going to see this formula throughout. Who God is, what God has done. Only then does God say, now, this is what I expect of you. Harry Wendt, Australian Lutheran pastor and author of the Divine Drama Bible Study series, puts it this way. This is not an if-then covenant. If you do this, then I'll do this. This is a because-therefore covenant. Because I, God, have already done this for you and cannot take back the Passover event, cannot undo history, cannot bring back the armies of Pharaoh, cannot unpart the sea, cannot take back that memory. Or as someone says, you can't unring that bell, you can't unsee that. Because I, the Lord your God, have done this, therefore, if you want to continue enjoying life, peace, prosperity, love, then I'm going to give you a set of rules, and you're going to obey them. And the consequences of obeying those set of rules are going to be twofold. Number one, you're going to experience the kind of life that you love, that I want for you, that I desire for you. But number two, you are going to be a beacon. The rest of the world is going to look at you and go, wow, how can we be like that? Let's continue. Verse 5. Therefore, if you obey my voice and keep my commandments, you shall be my treasured possession out of all the peoples. Indeed, the whole world is mine, but you shall be for me a priestly kingdom and a holy nation. A priestly kingdom and a holy nation. A kingdom in which every man, woman, and child is a priest, dedicated to, consecrated to, set aside for the holy purposes of God's shining light for the rest of the world, for all nations. A holy nation, not a normal nation, not a secular nation, but a nation that exists to be in relationship with God in a special purpose, the chosen people. Abraham was chosen by God to be the forerunner of a chosen people. Today, on this day, the people are now chosen, and we're about to have the choosing or consecrating ceremony. So Moses came, summoned the elders of the people, and set before them all these words that the Lord had commanded him. The people answered as one, everything that the Lord has spoken, we will do. Yeah, they say that today. Good intentions. Moses reported the words of the people to the Lord. Really? Didn't the Lord already know the words of the people? Did Moses have to? Oh, by the way, God, the people says to tell me that I'm supposed to tell you this. Yeah, the Lord said to Moses, I'm going to come to you in a dense cloud in order that the people may hear when I speak with you, so that they may trust you forever after. So now it's an entire nation. Hundreds of thousands of people are going to directly hear the voice of God. And it doesn't happen like this again. Ever throughout the Bible. Even when Jesus was dying and God said to him, come into your eternal home. Jesus said, it is finished. Into your hands I commend my spirit. And the people, it is said in the Gospels, heard a sound like thunder rumbling. This conversation between Father and Son, heavenly beings. And it was like thunder. But this is going to be different. The people are going to hear God speaking. There's a warning in between here. Moses told the people the words. The Lord said to Moses, go to the people and consecrate them today and tomorrow. Have them wash their clothes, prepare for the third day, because on the third day the Lord will come down upon Mount Sinai in the sight of all people. You shall set limits for the people, saying, be careful not to go up on the mountain or touch the edge of it. Anyone who touches the mountain shall be put to death. And this is going to include people and animals. So then everyone is now purified, ready to be presented to God. The cloud is going to come down. On the morning of the third day there was thunder and lightning, as well as thick cloud on the mountain, and a blast of trumpets so loud that the people who were in the camp trembled. So now we have trumpets. How would they know what a trumpet is? Well, apparently there were trumpets in Egypt, but somehow they know trumpet must be a very ancient instrument. Moses brought the people out of the camp to meet God. They took their stand at the foot of the mountain. Now Mount Sinai was wrapped in smoke because the Lord descended upon it in fire. The smoke went up like the smoke of a kiln, while the whole mountain shook violently, and the blast of the trumpet descended upon the mountain. Lord said to Moses, "Go down, warn the people not to break through to the Lord and look, otherwise many of them will perish. Even the priests who approach the Lord must consecrate themselves, or the Lord will break out against them." This is the first time we hear that there are priests. Remember the people that were set aside to be judges? Well, now there are those set aside to be priests, and we'll later find out that those are also cousins of Moses, people of the tribe of Levi, only the tribe of Levi. Moses said to the Lord, "The people are not permitted to come to Mount Sinai, for you yourself warned us, saying, 'Set limits around the mountain and keep it holy.'" The Lord said to him, "Go down and come, bringing Aaron with you, but do not let either the priests or the people break through." So Moses went down to the people and told them. So Aaron is now going up the mountain with Moses. And tomorrow we'll find out. You already know, don't you? You do know this part. I would hope you know this part of the story. Moses and Aaron are going to come back down with something that changes history forever.